I think in all fairness, I should explain to you exactly what it is that I do. Okay, I love that line from the 1995 movie Casino. I saw the movie over the weekend and like Casino, Carlito's Way, Shawshank Redemption. When it starts, I have to see the entire thing. I knew when I heard it, I was going to build it in to this video. In fact, I love it so much. Let's hear the line one more time. Joe, give it to us.
I think in all fairness, I should explain to you exactly what it is that I do.
That's how much I love it. Let me be clear or explain to you exactly what it is that our team does. We help defendants willing to do the work get the best possible outcome. To get that best outcome through sentencing in prison, you've got to learn how to hold your lawyer accountable. Yet so many defendants traversing the system have no idea, zero, zilch, nada. They have no idea how to work with a criminal defense attorney. And we want to ensure, if this is the only time you're going to go through this, that you get it right the first time. Let's start with, does your lawyer know absolutely everything? I'm telling everything, people. It is tragic how many defendants will reach out to us and they're like, my plea agreement is pure fiction. And I'll ask why. And they're like, I don't know. My lawyer doesn't seem to know everything. And it's just like reciting the government's version of events. Is my lawyer an order taker from the U.S. attorney? I don't understand it. I thought he was going to mitigate and fight for me. Now, I know your plea agreement will never be perfect as the DOJ is recreating events, but you stand a chance of getting it more factual if your lawyer knows absolutely everything, people. In fact, I'm going to put up a snippet to a text message I received last week from someone in our community named Brett. I can't put up his last name yet because he hasn't been sentenced, but to prove my authenticity, if you're thinking of working with our team and you wanted to speak with Brett and he can walk you through what he did over the last year before he's even pled guilty, happy to connect you. The point is he began mitigating the second he learned that he was in trouble, and that started with getting all of the appropriate information to his lawyer with his background, his life, his story. We filmed a video with all of the details that he got to the lawyer so that when the lawyer's negotiating with the United States attorney, the lawyer knows like every salient point about his life, even some details some lawyers may deem like not important. So I need to ensure that your lawyer knows absolutely everything. If you're wondering if you should say it, say it. If you're unsure, say it. If you're concerned that they're confused, get clarity. Tell them again. That's the only way you're going to get a plea agreement you can live with, and it's the only way you can truly advocate for yourself. Your lawyer has got to know absolutely everything. You have to assess as you're working with a lawyer, do your lawyers believe in mitigation? You might be thinking, Justin, you're saying this just because I want to call your team and mitigate with you. We'd love for you to mitigate with us. We know that we can help you, but whether it's on your own or with us, you need to ensure that your lawyer embraces mitigation. Earlier today, we did our weekly webinar, and a great lawyer from New York is on there, Nicholas Kaiser, and he said on there, this is coming from a very good defense attorney in New York, it would be despicable if a lawyer didn't encourage a defendant to prepare as early as possible because there are lasting collateral consequences of white-collar crime conviction beyond the actual sentence. It is lifelong. Yet there are many lawyers, I presume have good intentions, they just don't believe a defendant should mitigate, who will tell a defendant, no need to mitigate or try to change the narrative. Let me do what you have paid me a lot of money to do. So for that reason, some defendants don't start, they don't act, they delay, and I don't know anyone successful who delays or stalls in getting going with their own mitigation. So if you were working with your lawyer or interviewing a lawyer, I would ask a very simple question. Do you believe in mitigation? They may ask, well, what does that mean? It's very clear. I am going to, through my own efforts, every single day memorialize and document why I'm worthy of leniency. I'm going to take the lead in preparing for my probation interview, presuming it has the right message that, of course, as my lawyer, you'll agree with. Or do you think I should sit back, do nothing, chill, relax, and watch TV and get off the internet? If they give you that option, go to another lawyer. Make sense? I think so. You also have to assess as you work with a lawyer, are you truly prepared to do the work? The media loves to call us consultants for the rich and famous, and we've had a lot of rich and famous people. What they don't report on as much because it doesn't create great headlines is how many of our clients work with federal public defenders who have modest means, who qualify for a federal public defender, and then recognize my federal public defender, while great and caring, is overworked and understaffed. I need to go like pedal to the metal, as cliche as that sounds, on my mitigation. That can be a better things at times than a defendant giving $1 million to a law firm because they may think in giving that $1 million to a law firm, they're all good, man. As Pac said, from Diego to the Bay, they ain't got to work. Well, the problem is you go to a sentencing hearing, the lawyer's paid to beautifully articulate why you're worthy of leniency, and you stand there like a lump on the log, as my grandfather Bertram liked to say on the golf course. Just sit there. No, Your Honor, I don't have much to say. I do have my lawyer doing a lot of talking over here. And part of the problem is you just don't want to do the work. Let's own that. Here's a case study. Remember a couple of weeks ago, I filmed a video and I referenced this preparing for success after prison course. Following that, right after the video went live, man, I'm talking like live, 3 people called me. And they're like, hey, what's up with that course? I think I want to do that. How much is it? I said, save your money. Let's test it. I'm going to send it to you. We're going to talk 1 week from now and see if you have begun to go through this work. They're like, sounds great. I asked my good buddy and sales leader, Alec, to send it. He did. A week later, we called. Here's the result. One dude went dark. I hope he's okay. Are you okay? Are you okay? Where did you go? You told me you wanted to go through the course. You told me that in a 24-hour day, of course you can allocate an hour a day to write. It would be cathartic. It would feel good. You have gone totally dark. I hope you're okay. The next guy with whom we spoke, good dude, funny guy. I liked him. I've been too busy. Can't get around to it. I will. My lawyer's going through discovery. We're going to get back to it here. Relax. I got some time. I just got the indictment. It's still early. Not too early for the DOJ to indict you, for your bank to fire you, to get the press releases, to give the retainer, for the U.S. attorney to prepare for trial. Not too early for you to look for work. Too early for you to begin to mitigate and spend 30 minutes a day writing, knowing I shared an outcome about a judge who gave our client 37 months instead of 60 because of this work. You don't really want to do the work. You are choosing the person who didn't want to do the work and who still hasn't done it. You are choosing to stand for count in prison more than you have to. You are choosing to be away from your family longer than you need to. You are choosing to use those toilets on the inside longer than you need to. You are choosing to be in federal prison longer. That's the consequence of not doing the work and not mitigating, demonstrating through your own words why you are worthy of leniency. You are choosing it, own it. And then the third person was like, dude, it's the most I've ever written since college. The guy damn near wrote a whole book. Guess what? He's on his way to living with dignity, holding his lawyer accountable, rocking and rolling and writing and creating and sharing and pivoting. He's like, I have a whole new business I want to build because of this. I'm like, awesome. Keep writing. 3 dudes, one went dark, one was honest, he didn't do the work, doesn't plan to, the other did it. Are you truly prepared to do the work? Because if you are, you're going to get more of what you want. A better outcome at every stage of the journey. So as you're working with lawyers, you need to let them know, do they know everything? Do they engage in mitigation? If the answer is no, I'd move in a different direction. And then you need to be prepared to do the work. You got to be the star of this. Continuing, you need to be prepared to ask good questions when you're working with a lawyer. There are some law firms that are big, where there might be one dude that closes the deal, and then you never hear from him again. You need to understand what communications look like. I worked with great lawyers who constantly communicated with me. I always knew where things stood. I knew that every Friday, whether there was any activity in my case or not, I would get like a status update, an email. Sometimes the email would say, there's no update this week. I'm like, it's cool. I'm hearing from them. I knew, in my case, Joel Athey, good lawyer, by the way, I knew Joel was going to write the memorandum, be with me more on the day-to-day. Yet I knew Bob Corbin, who owned the firm, was going to be more in touch with David Willingham, the U.S. attorney, and working with the Securities and Exchange Commission. They each had their role, and I always knew what their role was. That provided me a sense of comfort, knowing that my team was looking out for me, and I was never questioning if they were working well on my behalf because they were constantly communicating with me. I don't like when I hear from someone who's like, hey, I gave a lot of money to a lawyer, like I haven't heard from them, like what are they doing? Did I just give all this money and it's into their coffers? And oftentimes the lawyer's doing the work, but they might not bill every single month, or the lawyer's not communicating exactly what they're doing. And the next time a defendant hears from the law firm is when they want more money and they're like, well, what the hell have you been doing? I would argue that if these lawyers were communicating more every week and every month with what they're doing, it would be easier and more palatable for a defendant to get the bill and pay it. But also they'll have comfort knowing their team is doing the required work. Communication is crucial. Even if the communication is, there is no update. I could talk for weeks and months and years about how to properly hire and vet a lawyer, but I'll close with this. You've got to continually remind them that you will never stop advocating for yourself. You've got to let them know that you are going to ask tough questions. And while this lawyer has had thousands of clients over the years, hopefully, not like thousands, but hundreds of clients, this is the only time you are going to go through this song and dance. Therefore, no one should advocate more than you. You have got to be the superstar. You are the show. Let's talk golf. I shot a 77 last week, by the way. Game's getting better. Played at a beautiful club with a caddy. The caddy handed me the club. I had to hit it. I'm not saying your lawyer is a caddy. They're much more powerful and impactful than that. But for purposes of this illustration, let me be clear. You are the star. You are the golfer. You are the one that's going to write that narrative for your probation officer with hopes that it will influence the probation report. You are the one that's going to allocute and make that statement to your judge. You are the one who every single day, let me do that again. every single day. We'll be memorializing and documenting why you're worthy of leniency. If you know that judges are cynical and they expect to be told exactly what they want to hear at a sentencing hearing with hopes they're going to give you the best outcome, that's probably good data for you to take into account every single day. What did you do last week? Did you memorialize it? Does it identify with victims? If you owe money, is there a path and plan to pay them back? If so, how? Are you working at a current job, or have you had to look for new work because of your conviction? If you can't even find a job, or at least you documenting that you are looking for work. Only you can do that work. So when your lawyer beautifully articulates it at your sentencing hearing, which is what they're paid to do, and I have no doubt they're going to do it well, without question, what's most impactful, in our humble opinion, is evidenced by the reviews our team continues to receive and clients you can speak with. You want to work with our team and say you want to speak with people? Put you on the 5, 10, 20, 30 people. It doesn't matter. Do your due diligence. Fine. Whatever you want to do is great. I'm convinced you the reason they got that outcome was because of things that they did earlier in the process. They ensured their lawyer knew absolutely everything. They watched the videos with Judge Boo and Judge Bennett, and they said to themselves, my goodness, I'm looking at a sentencing hearing, federal prison, and the lifelong collateral consequences of a felony conviction. I better get to work. No, let's wait and wonder. If you want to wait and wonder, install hope and wish as a strategy, we're not the right team for you. We don't want to help you. We can't help you because you're really not willing to do the work, which is the third point that I touched on earlier. You don't want to do the work. If you did, you'd immediately begin creating content with a course like this that is a First Step Act approved program. This is in the Bureau of Prisons. It probably makes sense that you go through the course, yet some will, some won't. If you can ask tough questions, know when to follow up, say, walk me through that. Why are you suggesting I don't do that? Help me understand it. Oftentimes they'll be right. But if you know how to respond and ask good questions and manage communication, you are going to be further ahead, and you're the superstar, people. You are the star. We believe in you. We believe in you. We believe in you. They say that to my daughter at the end of soccer practice, and I believe it because she's kicking ass. We believe in you. We want to ensure you get the best possible outcome, but it will not happen by accident. Last note, we're doing a weekly webinar again every Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. I'll put something up in the description if you'd like to join. I lead it along with my team. If you're going to hire a lawyer, make good decisions. Don't have regret. Do the work. Thank you for joining our community. What is that? I think in all fairness, I should tell you exactly what it is that I do. I love it. I have to go watch it again. Goodbye.